Okay, so the judgment is out, and I'm sorry to say the judge has dismissed the claim. Now, I've had a read of the judgment and I do have some thoughts, so I'm going to find somewhere quieter, maybe a garden in one of the Inns of Court, and record a quick analysis. Okay, that's better. I'm in Middle Temple Gardens. So, they say that one of the main purposes of a court judgment is to give an explanation to the losing party why the case has been decided against them. And that's the first thing to say about this. I do feel it's written for me, for us, which is strangely satisfying, consoling even though I'm disappointed. The judge says that I presented our case with eloquence and vigour, which is nice. I'll take that. And the judgment is also quite interesting. So the judge makes a distinction between balancing legal rights, human rights, and fairness. And this is the case. This is the case of the first time the court has discussed what fairness means for the school's admissions code. And he says it can take into account people's subjective perceptions. Now, that could spell trouble for the Department for Education further down the line, because what the judge seems to be saying is that people's feelings can override the legal framework for making a public decision. But if that's an issue, it's a wider problem with the construction of the law, and it's not to do with how we've been treated in this case. So we've not prevailed, and the limited feeder school policy that we felt was wrong and that the trustees thought was a bad idea, that policy will remain imposed on us. But what this judgment explains is that's because of the way the law is worded, and it's not because the adjudicator made a mistake or because she exceeded her power. Now, there are a few things that the judgment doesn't say. First, it does not say that the trust was right to promise feeders, or that it was right to try and impose feeders on us in 2019, 2020. And in fact, during the course of the litigation, the trust reiterated that it shouldn't have made the promises. And the barrister for the trust, she also explained that during the earlier consultation, the trust did not give the community the full story. And so those of us who felt that the trust was withholding something, we're vindicated on that point. Second, this judgment does not give the trust carte blanche to keep feeder schools in subsequent years. I've only read through the judgment once, but my initial reading is that part of the reason the current arrangements are fair is because they are temporary, and because there is a temporary bulge year for 2023 and 2024. Now, a lot of people I speak to are still suspicious about the trust, and I'm going to ask the trust to clarify their intentions and make that public. But today, now, reading this judgment, I'd be really surprised if anyone tried to keep the feeders after 2025. So in that sense, our activism over the last 3 or 4 years has been successful. So I'm going to conclude this by saying thank you to everyone who supported me and made this challenge possible. There's a value in making our voice heard, in having our day in court, so to speak. But also, as you all know, I'm a relatively new lawyer, and this case has been an opportunity I might not otherwise have had. I really enjoyed myself, even though we lost, so I thank you for that too. I'm going away for half term, but while I am away, I will reread the judgment again, and at some point I will write a blog giving a longer analysis of where I was wrong in law and what the next steps are for the trust and the Department for Education. So watch this space for that. In the meantime, I'm very happy, as you all know, to answer any questions on social media via direct message. So do get in touch if you want to know more. That includes people who were against what I was doing. There are some people who don't really understand why I brought the case than I did. Very happy to talk to you as well.